Tier 3. Lilith's cursed form is a raven. Now, we see Lilith's cursed form in Season 2, Episode 4, where it is referred to as the Raven Beast. Now, I find this odd, because it should be the same curse as Ida, and should therefore be an owl, right? Lilith is more linked to ravens, her talisman being a white raven. I honestly thought it was a seagull for a while. And more importantly, it's cooler to have them be different. King without his skull. When asked what King would look like without a skull, Dana drew this. Horrible. Matthew Hopkins. Matthew Hopkins was a notorious real-life witch hunter and was likely at least part of the inspiration for Philip Witherbane. It's also worth noting that Hopkins is the last name of the museum worker / conspiracy theorist Jacob. Mickey Mouse is Hootie. Obviously, Mickey Mouse isn't actually Hootie or vice versa, but Alex Hirsch stated that he did the Hootie voice as a Mickey Mouse impression, and it just fit for the character, so they kept it. Post-Hoot. Post-Hoot was a small talk show recording episodes of The Owl House. Episodes from Season 2B are on Rebecca Rose's YouTube, but there were more. That will be the final Post-Hoot that clarified some things that I couldn't get into in the show. Look Who's Talking. Somewhat similar, but not really. Look Who's Talking were very short recaps of episodes starring two photorealistic owls. And I don't know what you expect, they're just small recaps. Let's dress up and travel together. Oh, this is stupid. So in the official translation used in Taiwan, Singapore, and previously Malaysia, the confession scene in Season 2, Episode 8, where Luz and Abby confess their love for each other and want to go out, changed it to, let's dress up and travel together. Clearly this is for censorship in those countries, and it reminds me of a man have never married being British shorthand for someone who is homosexual. Bosch's parents. We get to see what is believed to be Bosch's parents in Season 2, Episode 15. It's very clear to see. We don't know about them much in canon, other than at least one of them being friend / business partner with one of or both of the Blights, since that's how Amity and Bosch became friends. Avatar parallels. Not the Blue People Avatar, but fans have sought parallels between The Owl House and Avatar The Lost Airbender. From simple things like shared voice actors, such as Amity Katara, to characters that are just similar, like Hunter and Zuko. Owner of the abandoned house. The abandoned house from the start was very out of place. And of course people wondered who it belonged to, but now we're fairly confident. The Rebus tell us that the house most likely belonged to either Evelyn, Caleb, both, or Caleb and Philip. The Rebus being hidden away and given directions to a portal makes me believe the house belonged to Witherbanes, and Caleb had to hide it from Philip. But Flapjack already knew where it was. Adagast other victims. You remember Adagast, right? Squid guy tricked Luz in Season 1 Episode 2, got eaten. Well, he may have had other victims given how many scrolls were made. It's fairly likely that all of his puppets were previous victims, and that if Luz were to join, she may become a puppet herself. How does Alador know what a hug is? Well, that's the name of the segment. I'm going to use it to rationalize hugging in general. What we know is that some characters do and don't know what a hug is, and that hugs are both a witch and human thing. In Season 1, Episode 15, Willow is shown to have a memory of her and Amity hugging as kids. And we know memories can't be changed unless the memory itself gets damaged in some way. The confusion is with Ida, who doesn't know what a hug is, when Luz does it to her in the first few episodes. And Hunter also not knowing, but that's really not surprising. I personally believe that hugging is a thing that witches know, and Ida maybe distancing herself from hugging. I don't know what a hug is, because witches know what hugging is, just certain ones don't. Ida's school record shrunk. We see Ida's school record twice. Once in Season 1 Episode 9, and once again in Season 2 Episode 15, where the record is a lot bigger. Fans believe that Principal Bump alleviated some of her offenses, given that the previous Principal Faust was very eager to punish. Little Witch Academia similarities. I have not watched any Little Witch Academia, so I'm going fully based on what I do know and appearances. That said, you can see the similarities. Not only with the main character, their green-haired rival attending a magic witch school, and Akko and Diana, who are Luz and Amity's supposed counterparts, being a very popular ship, while Luz and Amity are a full-blown couple. Dana yo-ho-ho's her own show. Dana made a tweet casually talking about Bill the Titan Trapper and their voice actor. But in the top left corner, there is an overlay for the owlclub.net. They responded by stating that they didn't have cable either, and honestly best, the other legendary relics. Relics are something we see brought up and shown in Season 1 Episode 18, where we only see the effects of 2 and hear about a third, being the Oracle Sphere, that shows your greatest desire, the Green Thumb Gauntlet, that makes anything you wish, and the Healing Hat, set to cure any curse. So, what are the other relics? We see most of them, but they aren't named, used, or even described. Or we can only speculate the effects, or we know the similarity of the illusion relic to the power amplifier used by Adrian Gray and later Gus. Lands beyond the Boiling Isles. Oh, we do know a few places that are outside of the Boiling Isles. We know of Titan Trapper Island, which is on apparently the other side of the world. King's Home Island, a few other miscellaneous islands, such as where they find the Soki Domus, and where they find the teleportation rock to get to Titan Trapper Island. 2 lies and a truth was a lie. Prior to Season 2, Dana posted to Reddit 2 lies and a truth. This being Gus growth spurt, Hootie leaving the owl house, and Camila beating someone up. This was 2 lies and a truth, so 2 of these things have to be lies. We see in the second episode of Season 2, Gus get growth spurt, and in the third, Hootie leave the owl house. So Hootie leaving had to be the truth, because that's what actually happened. But Gus also had a growth spurt, so what's the deal? This had the unintentional side effect of fans believing that Gus used illusions to fake his growth spurt. But regardless, it wasn't until Camila beat someone up in Season 2, Episode 10, 2 lies and 1 truth was an actual lie itself. Apple Blood is an alcoholic. Apple Blood is Edith's favorite drink, both as an adult and a kid. She even goes to bars to get the stuff when she feels down. People were wondering, is Apple Blood alcoholic? Because she goes to a bar to get more Apple Blood, but at the same time, she has one of the juice boxes as a kid. Well, yes and no. There's a soft version and a light version. I said the same thing. There's a soft version and a hard version. Lumity is Dipsifica evolved. Dipsifica is perhaps the most popular ship from Gravity Falls, being Dipper and Pacifica, the socially awkward main character, and the bully rich girl who defies their controlling parents. Yet connections are sort of there, and both shows are similar, but couples are not one of them. Mabel Pacifica is more close to Lumity, and not just because they're both 2 girls, but because Mabel's the one that has an actual rivalry for Pacifica. Regardless, I don't think Alex Hirsch and Dana Terrace in the writing room like, hey, you know people like these 2 characters from my show? How about we do that but better in yours? Belos' coat belonged to Caleb. When we see Belos as he prepares to step through the portal, he wears a coat that Luz makes fun of. Thing is, the whole look Belos puts on is Caleb's look that we see through the tale of the Widowbanes in Season 3, Episode 1. Aldor, Odalia, and Darius in Young Blood, Old Souls. In the flashback scene in Season 1, Episode 19, we see a crowd of people in the background, and on the very far left, we see Aldor and Odalia. Darius is also there in the crowd, but I can't find a good screenshot. This is actually the first we see of their proper designs. All we saw previously was silhouette for Odalia and Aldor, an artistic interpretation for Darius. Evelyn was a Clawthorn. Yes, it's down this low. Evelyn is the name of the witch that brought Caleb and Philip to the Boiling Isle. It is very much implied and widely believed to be a Clawthorn. Evidence comes from the little we see of the design that resembles Eda. Her name fit with the same theme of Edelyn and Gwendolyn, little for just a weird place, and them having Flapjack. Being a bird talisman links it to the Clawthorns, as bird talismans are a staple of the Clawthorn family. Belos Chunks and Hunter crying. According to a couple of Twitter posts by 2 people who work on the show, the team wouldn't have Belos explode into chunks that everyone except Hunter dodges when Belos is splattered by the Collector. They also wanted to have him sob when describing how to play Hell House instead of the weird squeak he does. Ah, poor guy. Snowdrift, the ship between Edric Blight and a piece of snow he picked up off the ground and licked. I want to believe this started as a joke to how Edric and Emerald were shipped with any other character they can think of for a good while, including the Golden God, before we knew that they were Hunter. I never understood that, but it was very popular for a while. And Hootlingo, the ship between Hootie and the Duolingo Owl, on the basis that they are owls. Not only is this an actually popular ship, but it was directly acknowledged by Duolingo and Dana, and since it's from Dana, this one's fucking canon. OG Hex Squad. OG Hex Squad refers to a potential squad of younger versions of adult characters we see when Eda reflects in Season 2, Episode 21. It's really fun to see in like a Eda-based prequel, but for now it's just fanworks. Man, the answer to that is really upsetting. At one point, Dana did an AMA on Reddit. There was one question that was simply, what is Hootie? Dana responded with, the answer to that is really upsetting. Too bad it's also a secret. Rain bunny suit. In a stream, Dana drew Rain in a bunny suit. The explanation was that Rain lost a bet with Eda. The Owl House fan musical. As the title would suggest, there is a fan musical named as such on YouTube. Go check it out. Secret glyphs. This is a theory that there were more glyphs than the 4 we know in the show. In fact, there were some that we have seen. And no, I'm not talking about glyph combinations like invisibility or the safety level. I mean, in the very first episode, the fireworks explode in a particular shape, so fans believe this would be a sort of firework glyph. Other examples include a glyph-like symbol in Amity's journal, and the window for the library, which is most important because with the comet, this would actually believe how the magic would occur. This would be cool, but we now know that there are only 4 glyphs, so maybe the library and fireworks are combos we just don't know enough about. Hootie's door collector isn't our collector. So during Edith's dream sequence in Season 2 Episode 8, she is captured by the collector, except it's not the design we see. It's taller with a darker color scheme and a more aggressive tone. So people speculate that this is a different collector from the one we see. The collector possesses Luce. Oh, here we go. This is a very popular theory, heavy quotation marks, for what the Season 2 finale would be. It all started when Dana was asked to draw half of a new character's face, and she drew the top half of the collector. Now people took that small bit we saw, with the occasional shared posing that the collector in their regular form has with Luce, to see that Luce and the collector are connected. The situation was elevated with this piece of art, saying to be a leak for the finale. Obviously when the episode came out, it was proven to be a hoax, but speaking of possession, the Possessed Trio. During the time people thought Collector would possess Luce, the collective Owl House, Amphibia, and Gravity Force fandom had come up with the Possessed Trio, featuring Bill Dipper, Darcy, and Collector Luce. Now, obviously, Collector didn't possess Luce, but later in the show, Belos would possess Hunter, who would then replace Collector Luce as the third in that trio. Hunter's hands. Hunter. That's the guy the writers like to torture. My belief was that Hunter had extremely messed up hands. This was because he always wore gloves, he occasionally gripped his hands, or otherwise fidget with them. People thought something was up with his hands. This was disproven in Season 3, and even after possession, his hands were fine. The missing piece of King's horn was the source of his power. King believed a crown would restore his power, and we only really see King's powers flourish after the tip of his horn is returned to him. This could be coincidence, as it's also around the time that demon puberty was starting. The Collector is a human. I don't remember where this theory came from, but it was never going to happen. Imagine pulling they're actually a human thing twice. Like, come the fuck on. Amity's greatest fear was being outed. This refers to Amity's fear in Season 1 Episode 16, which obviously was thought to be the fear of Luce rejecting her, which is what they say in the episode. An alternate theory is that this is Amity's fear of being outed as a lesbian to Luce. No one knows how humans would react. How do same-sex couples have kids? Good question. I don't know. We know genetics plays a role, as Willow resembles her dad's, and Bosher presumably resembles her mom's. Dana leaving Disney. Not too long after the Owl House finale, Dana posted to her social media showing her packing her stuff and leaving Disney. Given how they treated the first show they ever made, like fully for themselves, fair. Warden Wrath and Braxis. Warden Wrath is a fairly unremarkable character, but one interesting thing about them is that they are a father. Braxis is the Warden's son. And that's the end of Tier 3. Catch you next time for Tier 4.